Are you a contractor looking to get paid properly for your insurance claims, not have to spend too much time on them and get results? I'm going to walk you through our strategy. So first thing here is we want to control our outcome, which means that we need to do our own job of scrutinizing our work. We need to create proper documentation. We need to analyze everything the right way and figure out what needs to be added or removed. In other words, be your own critic. Figure out what they're going to argue about and be preemptive. Go ahead and actually answer the questions before they're asked. This is what's going to help you create a persuasive argument, adding the right components. And I'm going to teach you those right components. And then you want to negotiate. Now, what you want to negotiate is not the policy. Okay, so let's start there. But what we do want to negotiate is we want to negotiate what's required. So if you're telling me that ice and water is not required for a second row, I'm telling you it is. And that is your right to explain why it's required. So that is where you will negotiate. So I want to explain that to you because that word has a little frowned upon in our industry. And it's not like certain words that we remove from our vocabulary. This word is in our vocabulary. We can use it. So the strategy is called the three-legged stool strategy. Now, if you know much about three legs, three-legged stools, pyramids, triangles, they're one of the strongest structures known to man. They work in a very great way because weight is distributed properly, and it creates a strong argument. So I want you to keep that in mind as you make this approach. So the components that we're going to use, the first component is a line item. What's required, right? What's required? In other words, like I go in Xactimate and I find ice and water show. The line item and the details of the quantity, things of that nature can be put into Xactimate. The second thing is the technical reasons. This could be something like sharing the code, explaining why something is required based on code or based on some mathematical formula or some manufacturer requirement, installation guideline, existing surfaces, technical reason. Now, you want to create a narrative or a photo, something that visually explains something as if you were explaining it to a 12-year-old. That is going to help you create the three legs that get you more results from your insurance claims. So starting with the first item, detail, detail, detail. We want to point out exactly what's needed, how much of it's needed, and what the technical item is. These are your line items in Xactimate. This is not very difficult, right? So if somebody said that, it includes the dumpster in the shingle separated them, you want to explain that no, we do not include it because this is not a repair. This is a replacement. So we have actually separated it and we include a dumpster. We do not include the allowance within the line item. So you want to put in the proper line items. Then you want to explain the technical reason. The technical reason why that item is needed, or perhaps why you separated it. Like I stated, perhaps because this is a full replacement and not a repair, I've separated the items. Or I can cite code according to this building code, according to this mathematical formula, according to this manufacturer's guide. That's what you're going to do here. That's your second reason. And F9 notes is a great place to put this, right? Your third part, and another place where you can put F9 notes, is your narrative or your photo. This is where I want to explain it to a 12-year-old. Think of it that way. I want to show you a picture where it was existing. I want to show you a picture of it perhaps being installed, or maybe both. I want to highlight and circle and annotate and point and use arrows. It's very important that I want to explain it to a 12-year-old, right? If I have to write a paragraph, I'll write a paragraph. Just putting in technical jargon is not going to get you results. You have to explain it like you would a 12-year-old. So how do we take this three-legged stool approach and apply it to real-life circumstance? So let's say they're disputing ice and water's second row, right? We understand the importance of it. We understand why it's needed. We understand why it's a critical component. So what we want to do is gather our stuff together, and what we're going to do is start the three-legged stool approach. We're going to first find the line item in Xactimate. We're going to make sure it's not been included in any other line item or any other area, just to make sure we're not double charging for the same thing. Then what we're going to do is enter that line item, and we're going to support it with the F9 note with technical reasons. This is going to be your code, why ice and water is required 24 inches in from an interior wall in a living structure or a living area. What you're going to do is cite that code. You're going to put it there. You're going to also probably go grab that calculator, that diagram that shows this is how much ice and water is required on this installation. And you're going to then go ahead and explain to like you would to a 12-year-old. This is going to damage things. If it doesn't happen, ice will come back up. It will create further liability. Now, this is a good word. Liability is a good word because what you want to do is let them know that would you assume the liability? Because liability is an insurance word. And I'm going to let you know that by not installing this other row of ice and water, that the liability for ice to form and water to enter is going to be a problem. And what I'm going to probably do here is I'm going to support it with one more photo. A key photo I like to do when it comes to ice and water, because I have my calculator, is the overhang photo. I like to measure from the brick or the wall out to the edge, explain the 6 inches of wall, and then run my calculator. So there's no argument here. I've made it very obvious to a 12-year-old that this is a requirement. By doing this kind of an argument, by building this kind of a presentation, you're going to have a precise approach. It's going to have technical soundness. It's got visual components to support you, and you're going to have a higher success rate. It's that simple.